boop doop, it's National 5000. And I was born in 2008. Just to give you guys an idea, that either makes me a really young Gen Z kid or an extremely old Generation Alpha kid. I was born in what I would call peak humanity because it was a time before TikTok was normalized, because TikTok has gotta be one of the most damaging things to society. And around this time, toys were still fun because parents were actually buying their kids toys, and kids would actively choose to play with toys over going on their iPad. Yeah, I know, that's crazy. Honestly, looking back, despite the fact that my parents said that I spent a lot of time on my iPad, honestly, I'd say I spent a few solid hours playing with toys every day. And honestly, toys have definitely been one of the major factors that have raised me. So today, we're gonna go over every single major childhood toy, starting with fidget spinners. Well, actually, Nash, fidget spinners are hashtag cringe, and I don't like them. Oh my god, you're such a sheep. I'm not a sheep, though, alright? I'm not a sheep for just saying I hate something just what the majority of people think. I'm not a sheep. I'm a alpha. Yeah, and look, I know that the internet has basically ruined fidget spinners, but still, fidget spinners were still pretty fun and pretty goated, bro. Like, it was just simple toy. You just spinner, and then it goes. And there were so many tricks you could do. Like, some kids were doing it with just one finger. Some kids had one fidget spinner on all their fingers, bro. If you did that while you were a kid, you were a god among men. You know what? The school would just give you your application, and you wouldn't even have to go to school anymore just because of how godlike and how powerful you were. And, like, there are all the different kinds of fidget spinners. And honestly, fidget spinners were pretty fun. Another toy that got sadly forgot about were stick bots, which really sucks because stick bots are some of the most goated toys ever. Like, the idea is pretty simple. Sticky men, with a bunch of, like, you know, suction cups so that they could stick to walls. There were accessories you could buy. There were dino stick bots at one point. It was fun, bro. And if you had all the stick bots, again, you were simply a god among men, an untouchable force. I got 2 stick bots for Christmas with the whole stick bot set up and stage, and y'all know my dumbass did not know how to use the stick bot green screen. But still, you could do so many things with them. Like, the amount of videos that are made about stick bots is just so amazing to me. In my opinion, I really wish stick bots stayed popular because of how goated they were. But you know what? Maybe if they started combining, like, stick bots and big franchises like Stickbot Jason or Stickbot Simpsons, I think that would, like, keep them alive for just a little bit longer so that they League of Funko Pops. Funko Pops were freaking fun as hell too, bro. Funko Pops had big heads with tiny little, they didn't really do too much. They were just sort of simple action figures, you know. I want to call them a complete action figure, but they were still fun to play around and use. And speaking of action figures, y'all know action figures are some of the most best toys ever to exist, bro, because they're like the founding sensation for every single one of your playtimes, because they were the best toys to make fight. But the basic action figures were sort of like action figures of superheroes, characters from TV shows. They would have a decent amount of joints, but they weren't as flexible as stick bots. And by the way, I consider stick bots to be action figures, but you know, different branches. And you could make the action figures fight on like platforms, make them shoot guns at each other. Action figures were just really fun, and all the toys I just mentioned were really fun. So fun that my school had to ban them. Why? I think we all at this time were our school deciding, hey, are those kids having fun playing with their toys? I think it's time we remove those toys. Like, I swear, bro, my old school used to be so goddamn strict. Elementary school, my teacher was throwing a damn hissy fit because people were playing finger guns. Like, well, actually, students, you can't do that because it's gonna make you vile and violent. And some teacher, some loser, utterly disgraceful teachers went to complain to the head office, and they're like, well, actually, head office, fidget spinners and stick bots and Pokemon cards are all way too distracting, and kids shouldn't have them. And then one day on the announcements, they're like, hey kids, you are way too happy with those things. Put away, you pieces of doo-doo. And then no kid got to play with them, is what I would say, but they sort of made a whole goddamn drug cartel of just stick bots, Pokemon cards, and all other toys in between. And although I really want to make a rant about TikTok right now and how distracting it is in class, and how kind of funny that phones are still allowed in class, but we weren't allowed fidget spinners. But whatever, that's another video for another day. And also, I just want to say real quickly, if your teacher isn't letting you use your phone during class when you're done all your work, tell teacher. But if the teacher isn't using your phone because, you know, they're freaking teaching the goddamn lesson, LU. But seriously, why are you banning all these toys? Huh? What are you gonna ban next? Autistic kids? Next up, we got Pokemon cards. I don't really have that much of an appreciation for Pokemon cards, because when I was little, my cousin just gave me a whole ass treasure trove of Pokemon cards. So I never had to work for any Pokemon cards. But honestly, they still were pretty fun to collect and flex over your friends. And I would say play, but let's be honest, who actually knows how to play the game? Another toy were like the toys that could like stretch their arms really far. They're called like stretchies. Stretch out and punch other guys, you know. They're sort of like stretchy action figures, not much to say. Another utter classic would be the Slinkies, bro. Alright, even if you didn't want to make them go down the stairs, it was just fun to make them go Slinky, Slinky, Slink, and make them go slink up and down. I remember I got a Slinky for Christmas, bro, and I played with that so much. And then my siblings were treated to absolutely destroy that goddamn... It was destroyed. They twisted and turned it. Wanna know what's crazy? They actually kind of make the Slinky even cooler. They made it into this giant monster looking thing, the mouth and stuff, and two Slinky-like legs. They honestly made the toy even cooler. But at the same time, I still did want the Slinky, so I got a new Slinky to replace the old one. Poppets were a thing that existed too, you know. They were pretty simple and pretty satisfying. You just sort of went... Pretty fun. Some of the most important toys ever were stuffies, bro, because they would protect you from all the demons that you would see in your sleep. Before anyone asks, stuffies are what us Canadians call plushies or dolls or whatever y'all call it, all right? We only call dolls like you know, like Chucky. That's adult, the average Canadian. But anyway, bro, these toys, we would also use them. Not as much as action figures when it came to playing, but they would still be pretty useful to fight things, especially when we would pretend that they would be big, giant, humongous creatures. And I remember getting a lot of Angry Bird stuffies and just throwing them around. You have a bad guy, right? You kind of want them to have a really cool death in your imagination. Like throw this stuffy down the balcony. They would go, oh! It caused no damage to the floor or to this toy, so it was the perfect thing for that. And yet my parents still did not let me do it, bro. I don't understand, bro. I just wanted to yeet stuffies down the balcony. What's so wrong about that, man? Lego was another one of the freaking goats, bro. Like Lego, you would be able to build anything. I mean, granted, being a dumbass little kid, you couldn't build too much, but I would get the sets because, you know, my parents were balling like that. And for Christmas, I got the Angry Birds Lego set, and bro, I had so much fun building that Lego ship. I actually still have it. And to this day, I still get a lot of Lego for my birthdays because Lego's gotta be like that one toy that no matter how old you get, no one will judge you for playing with it. Okay, that's mad cap, but no one will judge you and not be a loser, alright? Come on, you gotta just be an L hater that hate on Lego. How are you gonna hate Lego? It's fun. The action figures are the best to fit in T-Rex's mouth. Like the T-Rex going... Da, 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 da. Alright, how are you gonna hate on Lego like that? Speaking about toys that are still respectable to use when you're an adult, we got drones. I know that these aren't really toys, but let's be honest, we all had a drone at one point as a kid, and if we didn't, by the way, that was a joke. Please do not make fun of how much money people have, especially if you're a kid saying this. Like, bro, you ain't rich. Your parents are rich. The hell's wrong with you, bro? You think you're the stuff? Nah, you just sit on your ass every day where your parents buy you everything. You are worthless and nothing, and well, when you grow up, you will not achieve anything in your life, and you will just... I'm talking to the kids who be flexing all their clout and stuff, alright? You really think you're rich? But anyway, remote control drones and remote control cars are some of the goats. Anything that you could play with a controller and anything that you can make drive around or fly automatically made them a goated ass toy. So I think they're pretty valid. Little Hot Wheels cars were also fun. Pretty simple. You would just sort of ride them along, you know. You couldn't put any action figures in them unless you had a big Hot Wheel, but still, they were pretty fun. I don't know if this counts or not, but in a daycare, I would make my own homemade toys, and not gonna lie, I made some really good toys. Rubber duckies were the freaking best too. They would go in your tub, and you would make it sweet like that. Like really fun tub toys. That's kind of all. And also, speaking about tub, sometimes I would bring my action figures, you know, the action figures that my mom would let me put in the tub, and I would just like make them have some water adventure stories, just like, ew, I'm drowning, kind of like that, or like have them fight some giant monster, which would probably be my, you know what, I'm not gonna say it, how do I say this, would probably be my pickle, so to speak. Yeah, I definitely did that as a kid. I would just have the rubber duckies be like, we have to defeat this monster, and then the monster would just be my pickle, just going like oh my god, it was so stupid. Piggy banks were another toy that I had, and y'all know my piggy bank was filled. Y'all know I be getting that money and not my funny, bro. I was stacking paper, and piggy banks were a pretty efficient way to stack up your money. Nowadays, though, kids use wallets and credit cards. Nah, that stuff was boring. It was all about that piggy bank, and they would work as a pretty good toy. Although you couldn't really make them fight or do anything risky. You would just sort of have them sit on a table as like some evil villain that wouldn't do anything and like would be really weak will like have a lot of cool, powerful gadgets and be like, haha, try to get to me, super boys. Kind of like in Toy Store. These last two were pretty simple. It was like a bobbleheads, you know, the little bobbleheads, and the little musical toys that could go. Pretty satisfying, and that's kind of it. And also, what I would use as like a little battlefield for my toys to play on would be those little maps with all the rows. That was amazing. And also just around my house in general, I'll just make the toys fight like pew 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 pew, just randomly about around the house, you know, annoying the crap out of my parents. And still, you know, I feel like there's a bunch of toys that I didn't mention but I'm forgetting about. Yeah, I could always make a part 2. Oh my god, I forgot about Beyblades. Yeah, I didn't play with them that much anyway. Hey, something that was sadly cut from this video was me and my sister ranking toys IRL, but there was a lot of problems with the video, so we're gonna have to re-record it. And if you guys want us to re-record it and upload it, we could do that. Hey guys, just some news. I'm gonna be gone for a little bit so I can make a really good video, but that in school. But yeah, till then, I don't know, go watch some other videos, you know, they're pretty good. Pretty nice. And also thank you guys for supporting. You know, it's nice to have an actual community. Even though the community is not too big, I believe we could grow and prosper. And yeah, thank y'all for supporting. Goodbye for now. The longest I'll be gone is till the June 21st.